Hi there, foodie friends. My name is Sue, and I have nearly 40 years experience in the carnival concession business. I was a food vendor, and I had a route of 18 stops during the season, mostly summer and fall. I was a school teacher the rest of the year. And I have to tell you, this business has been very good to me. I consistently made more money in the 18 weeks as a food vendor than I did in the 42 weeks as a school teacher. I love them both, but honestly, I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed being a food vendor. There's so many wonderful things about it. I actually talk about that in another video. But today I want to talk to you about cash, about money, about how you handle all that cash. So I have a few tips, and I'm going to tell you the methods that I've used, and you may be able to adapt them for your own use. So cash is very tempting. When you are done an event or first night of an event and you go back to your RV, if you're close by, you go back to your house and you dump that bag of cash on your kitchen table and you start counting, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot of money and it's very tempting, but you have to be disciplined when you handle your cash. Now, I will say I have had events where I haven't done that well. There are some duds. If it's raining, it's cold, or you book into a new event, you don't get the customers, not so great. But that happens very seldom. You weed those things out. You can't do anything about the weather, but if it's a multiple day event, you may get rain one day, but it's not going to rain on your parade or festival the rest of the time. I have had events where we were so busy, the cash box overflowed. We had kept a brown paper bag underneath the cash box, and we just threw money in the brown paper bag because it was crazy busy. So there is a lot of cash to be made. First of all, I want to talk about cash and safety. When you leave at night, whether you're in a food truck or whatever you're in, you have to be very careful how you handle your cash. I feel this never used to be the case, but now, times are tough, people are desperate, and crazy stuff happens. I have a friend who has a fried dough booth, and I have known her for many, many years. Her parents were in this business, so her family's been in it probably 75 years. And she's alone, and one night she was walking, this happened in the last year or so, and this happened in a rural town in a very safe and friendly community. She was walking back with all her day's take in a backpack slung over one arm of her one shoulder. And as she walked by on her way to her RV, I'm sure thinking all she could think about was probably putting her feet up or taking a shower or whatever. Someone jumped out from behind a dumpster and tackled her and tried to grab her backpack, and my friend is pretty feisty, and she held on to it and she hollered and screamed, and he finally ripped it away and took off. But this occurred luckily near the beer tent on a Saturday night, and a bunch of guys in the beer tent came to her aid, chased the guy down, and got the money back. Not dollar bills, but bills flying everywhere, I'm sure. But they helped her recover the money and get it back. But that was a good story. She wasn't hurt. She got her money back. They caught the guy. But you have to be careful now. I have another friend who uses a toolbox when she leaves her rig and she walks back to her RV. It looks like and a good tip is to go a couple times during the day, bring it back and put it in your safe in your RV or wherever you're keeping your cash. And be cautious about it. We use belly bags and stuff some cash in there. We'll use a money bag, and my husband will tuck it down into the back of his pants, whatever. So when we're leaving, we do sometimes put a backpack. One of us will carry a backpack, but honestly, it's a decoy. So somebody grabs it and takes off there. All they're going to get is a bunch of dirty towels in there that we were going to put in the laundry anyway. So be careful. Be aware of your surroundings at all times, and try to go back. Don't walk back alone if possible. Wait till somebody else, another vendor or your partner or whatever, and walk back together. So you've worked too hard for that cash to have somebody rip it off. But anyway, now you're back, you're counting. And I will say there was only one time in my entire career that I was too tired to count the money at night. That almost never happened because I was excited. We worked all day for this. This was the payoff. So what we do with our money, we first start by making sure our $500 money bag, which I think I referred to before, still had $500 in it. So if we needed ones during the day or fives or whatever, and it's a real busy time, you might just reach in the money bag and pull out 105s and throw them in the cash drawer. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that 500 is still in there, because you don't want to count that as part of your profit. Okay, so now you've caught that up. Now we look at our register tape, we look at the sales tax. If this is for all your credit cards, we use the square. So when we get the square printout at the end of the night, let's say it said we did $8,000 in sales for that day on the credit card machine. Okay, and the sales tax is 6%. That's $480. So I will put $480 and I'll put a paper clip on it. And I use Ziploc bags. So one of them I've written on it sales tax. I'll take that $480 and I'll put it in there. And then I'll think to myself, well, how much did I do in cash? Cash, you can do it 50%, you can do it 30%, you can do it 20%. Let's say you say, okay, well, I did 50% is cash sales. So again, another $480 goes into the bag. And it's awful to put almost $900 aside in one day for sales tax. But I'm going to tell you, that's not your money. It's money that the customers paid you, and you're supposed to carry it on and pay it to the state. And the sales tax people are relentless. Do not get behind on your sales tax. Do not underestimate. Do not underpay, and pay on time. Sales tax people can be your worst nightmare. I have never had problems. I have a friend who had a problem with the sales tax people. He greatly underestimated how much he declared that he did in a day. And at one point, a sales tax representative stood out to the side of his trailer with a clicker in his pocket and clicked every customer. And needless to say, at the end of the week, my friend was in deep poo-poo as far as having to pay the sales tax people. So I always put my sales tax money aside. Then I think about my employees. Okay, how many employees did I have? Am I paying them daily or hourly? What did my employees cost me today? That goes in something separate. So I might have a baggie for my rent. And I always have a baggie for my payments. So if I'm making a payment on, let's say I bought a new stock truck, or I bought a new trailer, whatever the payment is, whatever number of days I'm going to work that month. Let's say I'm going to work 20 days that month, and my payment's $2,000. Then I put $100 a day in that. So think about what your expenses are, and put that money aside. And then what's left is actually your profit. And what you do with your profit is up to you. Some of it, of course, is going to go toward making your insurance payment or whatever. But don't forget, all of your credit card sales money is going to go into your checking account. So if you have cash left on the table, granted, your checking account may build up. You may have more in it at the end of the season than you thought you would need for expenses, and that's profit. But also the money left on the table is profit. And you can put your profit in another baggie or in your wallet or whatever you do with it. But don't get tempted because you've got a big pile of money in front of you at the end of the night to take, $1,000 a day and put it in your pocket, because you may not have enough after all your other expenses are accounted for. So my way of doing it is account for your expenses first. Use your cash to go in those baggies. And you may find, gee, I don't have that much cash left, but don't be discouraged because you have all that credit card money sitting in your checking account. Some of my friends don't take credit cards at all. They only deal in cash. So then all the cash that's left really is yours if you've accounted for all your expenses. I've mixed feelings on whether or not to take credit cards. It does slow the line down when somebody's paying with a credit card. Cash is very fast, and I'm not suggesting you don't report every dollar. That would be illegal, and I would never suggest you do anything like that. But you can handle your cash differently if the only amount of money you're taking in is cash. So that's something for you to think about. If somebody says, I don't have any cash, be sure you know where the nearest ATM is and say, well, you can go over there. I'd be glad to wait on you when you come back, right? When you have the cash to pay. So those are just some thoughts I have about how you handle your cash, and I hope you have a giant pile of it at the end of every day of the events that you play. Have a great day. I hope this was informative. Check out the link below and give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you.